Greetings, YouTube. It is no secret if you follow my channel that I don't do Alliance War, and it's already been about a year since I fought an Alliance War. My channel is basically Alliance War free at this point, and so rarely, if ever, do I talk about it. It's almost like I intentionally, and trust me, it has been really great for my own mental sanity, forget that Alliance War even is in the game. One battle group of my alliance does it, so it's not like I'm in a total Alliance War free alliance, but 2/3 don't do it, and so I'll see the update pop up whether or not we won or lost, and it feels like I'm on the sidelines cheering them on, but I never have to go in the game. And for me to save my best champions for questing, to never have to worry about them being locked in, or worry about placing defenders or not placing defenders, worrying about whether or not I'm going to have to use glory or units on potions or revives, that is so much more relaxing to me than the trade-off of not only fighting an Alliance War and the time commitment it takes, but especially the trade-off of what the rewards will be even when you succeed. But because of that, a lot of people still love Alliance War. And I'm not saying that that's still not true, because clearly it is. If it wasn't true, Kabam wouldn't do it. But what you see in front of you, many of you, or most of you probably even, that do Alliance War, you're no stranger to what you're staring at. The Alliance War defensive tactics flow. The node that gets critical strikes against #control defenders, granting a passive power gain, causing them to gain 35% of their max power over 15 seconds. And of course, if the defender is stunned, the power gain is removed. Max 3 stacks. So, I have been messaged many times about this node since it came into Alliance War. But lately, the messages have escalated to the point that they are now saying, Prof, I think you should talk about in a video how not only is this a cash grab BS node, but it's ruined Alliance War for my specific alliance to the point that we are now going to back off Alliance War after the season altogether. We don't enjoy it. We're actually spending, some alliances are saying that they're spending their glory that they could be spending on Tier 5 basic Catalyst fragments and Tier 2 Alpha that are so much better priced than ever before in the Glory Store on Alliance Quest potions and I guess maybe even revives. And so because of that, you're actually costing yourself some of the rewards anyway. So yeah, you're getting Alliance War rewards, but you're taking away from Alliance Quest rewards. So there actually is a net negative in terms of what you gain, plus of course the commitment to doing wars and the frustration. So with this node, Defender's power gain is so insane that it basically starts when they get struck by a critical hit. And so you really need the RNG to be in your favor every fight, which to me is the definition of a cash grab node. It takes the skill out of it and makes you just have to charge that credit card or dump your units at least into the fight. So you're hoping that they don't constantly throw their specials and you're constantly eating special threes. And if you don't throw off their specials and you don't dex correctly, I should say, you're not going to get them to bait it, and you're just going to eat the special 3. So, there are a number of champs that counter this. Guillotine 2099 comes to mind. Crossbones is still an MVP for this kind of fight, but in this day and age, forcing people to rank 565 their crossbones, who wants to do that? I wouldn't want to do that. And so we enter part 2 of this problem, and this is something that I want to focus on as heavily in this video as anything else, because we look at who the defenders are in these flow tactics, and I get that you have defenders that are better here, and I've been told that this guy is the absolute worst, biggest nightmare to fight in this scenario. I have been sent several screenshots from different alliances over the past few weeks, and I guess a couple months technically, where he has gained what used to be Iron Man Infinity War level kills. But I've learned from in-game players who are doing the high tiers of war that if you come out with a BS defender, there's some level of forgiveness because you learn who the counters are and you adjust. Iron Man Infinity War used to be the most insane defender. I remember when he first came out, nobody really knew how to bait the heavy with the heavy, and you just have him fire spam special ones until you died, even if it was a 4-star, especially, of course, Awaken, that it felt like a cheat code. But then you learned how to deal with that champion, and eventually he lessened as a top defender. Not that he still isn't in that tier, but certainly not the worst of the worst, at least not in 2020. But in-game players are a lot less reluctant to forgive a cash grab node. Cash grab defender, we'll figure him out or her out. Cash grab node is just BS. And to make matters way, way worse, and we cannot emphasize this enough as a community, Kabam has just mysteriously, and even though I'm sure it's not really a mystery when you do the math, stopped putting out regularly invulnerability boosts, which of course would help you take a special 3 to the face. According to one summoner that reached out to me, and I can't verify this because I don't do Alliance War and I don't pay attention, quite frankly, to when the boosts come up because I don't care about them, but he said he's been tracking them, and the invulnerability boost has only been available in the loyalty store for 1 day the entire season, and there is only 3 days left of the current season. And if that's true, that's borderline criminal. That is taking away a very valuable, needed item to handle a node that they made strictly to drain summoners' wallets, and taking a free option away because, of course, loyalty is free and you, of course, get more loyalty by doing Alliance Wars. Taking that away and making people either get wrecked and forced to spend expensive revives and potions and boosts, or just take the L in Alliance War. And, of course, that's not even taking into account what happened today with the emergency maintenance, having some summoners reach out to me that they truly believe that was the difference between whether or not they won or lost the war. And there are going to be those people in the comment section, I'm sure, who say, well, they shouldn't have waited to the last hour to clear the map. Well, not everybody is as good at the game as you, apparently. So, sorry we all can't be you, I guess. But regardless, I have a feeling, because I have a motto when I do a video, and that's that if a few people contact me that don't know each other, complaining of the same thing and having the same conclusion, it is a small sample size that is a larger reflection over the community as a whole. And so I'm not saying that everybody's going to stop doing Alliance War after the season, but I think that there are people who've put up with so much in seasons up to this point that this is their breaking point, that it's draining their units and their patience and their fun so much that they're going to start looking at taking war off, or at least scaling back on the difficulty of the tier that they're in and focusing more on Alliance Quest for their own mental health. And you have somebody like my good friend, Mr. Captain Bay, who's Alliance-less, and he tells me how much better his mental health has been since taking his foot off the gas and not staying in an Alliance, even for Alliance Quest. So there are ways to backtrack and not have to quit the game altogether, especially when you're bored and you're in a pandemic and it kind of keeps you somewhat feeling like there's some normalcy around you. But at the same time, I think we can all agree, in the span of a season, if the invulnerability boost only comes up once, or twice for that matter, even if it's twice, that's some BS. And this node, as a cash grab node, just forces you to rank up somebody that outside of Alliance War you're never really going to use, and forces you to have disdain for something that you very much once enjoyed. So I appreciate everybody who reached out to me, including Mr. Haddock, who supplied some of this information to me. And I just want to say overall, this is definitely something that we should be concerned about as a community. And just because I don't do Alliance War doesn't mean that I should ignore this, right? I should still be able to use my voice and my platform to talk about the frustrations of a portion of the community. Sometimes it's a small portion, sometimes it's a large portion. And my guess is with this node, it's affecting quite a few people. And that's unfortunate because if you don't sell the invulnerability boost, if you continue to expect summoners to throw their glory into potions or their patience into them, it's just going to end up causing burnout. And Kabam wants this game to continue to grow. They want to have another 5 years, I'm sure. And the only way that you retain those top tier players is if you don't force them to be burnt out and if you reward them with the right amount of rewards. And I just think the loyalty store, which has always been kind of a shady thing that Kabam just kind of chooses randomly for when they drop things, I think that thing should be as scheduled as the tier 1 alpha arena or the tier 4 basic arena, something that you can put on your calendar and just assume is going to happen. It shouldn't be random, it shouldn't be calculated, it should be a constant. That would do as much good for alliances trying to plan when to tell their members to spend their loyalty as anything else. And why Kabam still hasn't done that, I'll never know. But this is the breaking point for people, and I would love to hear your thoughts on this if you are in this. And if you're not in this category and you think it's actually really easy and you have certain counters that you think you'll use outside of Alliance War, but you should still rank up, I appreciate those comments as well. This is as much a forum for this problem as, you know, a end-all be-all once this video ends. So thanks for watching. Have a good one. I know this is a longer video than usual, but I wanted to make sure I wrote down and got all the points that were delivered to me because I don't want to make a series of videos on this. I just want this video to kind of be the one video I talk about this on my channel. So there you have it. Have a great Sunday. Thanks for watching, YouTube.